Welcome to the Tearsheet podcast. I'm Zack Miller. In this episode, we're announcing the winner of our first annual Bank Fintech Partnership Award here at Tearsheet. I'm happy to say that TD Bank and Hydrogen won this year's award. To talk about the partnership and how the two firms created a solid foundation for collaboration, we have Jacob Matthews, AVP, Head of Digital Continuum, Sales, and Client Engagement, and U.S. Wealth Technology at TD Bank joining us, as well as Mike Kane, co-founder of Hydrogen. I'll let them tell the story of the genesis of the partnership, the nature of the collaboration, and the success factors that have both firms looking out into the future for deeper work. I'd like to thank TD and Hydrogen and everyone else who applied for the award, as well as our industry judges that helped make this happen. Here's Jacob and Mike.
Hi, Zach. I'm Jacob Matthews, AVP, Head of Digital Continuum, Sales and Client Engagement, and U.S. Wealth Technology here at TD.
And we also have Mike. Mike, can you introduce yourself as well?
Sure. This is Mike Kane. I'm the co-founder of Hydrogen, and I mainly focus on our business, sales, and operational functions.
So we're here to talk about a partnership and celebrate the partnership between TD and Hydrogen. Jacob, can we start with, background story on the genesis of the partnership, what you were looking to accomplish?
Absolutely. So first of all, I want to thank you, Zach, for the opportunity to be here. It's great to be here with you and Mike. TD is very excited to have won Tearsheet's Bank and Fintech Partnership Award with Hydrogen. So when we talk about how we started the initiative and our partnership with Hydrogen, our goal really did touch on the criteria that this award was given out for: creativity, innovative thinking, and customer value. And to provide some context on what we're looking for in the partnership, let me just take a minute to talk about the initiative itself. We have a fantastic online platform called WebBroker, and that really provides tremendous trading tools. But in speaking to our customers, we needed to enhance our offering. So we needed to provide a way for these trading tools to fit inside of a financial goal-based plan. We wanted to help our clients build a plan that helped them achieve their goals. And our goal in wealth in building out this tool was to take the complexity out of the front end and build an easy to follow tool for our customers. And all the modeling and all the guts of what a planning tool is would sit in the background. So with that context, we needed to partner with a company that was able to help accelerate this vision and launch this product, which we're calling Goal Assist. And this product needed to have the flexibility to meet the needs of each customer segment. And we were looking for innovation and agility, and we saw a partnership with a fintech company as a way to turn the fintech competition to one of the main drivers for banking transformation. So what was TD looking for from a partner? Well, we were looking for a partner that would help advance our capabilities while providing a way to test and validate product and service innovations. The need to integrate and foster these innovations is crucial. And we feel that a very effective way to deliver technology solutions at the speed and agility of the market and our customer demands is through partnerships.
And what were you looking for from a partner?
So TD was looking for a partner whose business model can work with TD, has a competitive advantage in the marketplace, and honestly, who was as passionate about our vision as we were. And we evaluated various fintech startups who've already started this work in the space or have existing tools to provide these user-friendly capabilities to online investors. And Zach, we've engaged with over 20 innovative fintech startups, both near and far, to determine who that right partner should be.
Oh, that was a pretty extensive bake-off, Jacob.
Definitely.
Sorry. So over to Mike. What was Hydrogen's experience partnering at this point when you entered the conversation with TD? What were you guys looking for from TD?
Sure. So maybe it'd be helpful if I give a few seconds background on what
Absolutely.
our platform does. So what our platform does, as was mentioned earlier, is we are an innovation and acceleration driver for enterprises. So what that means is we have a SaaS platform that enterprises like TD can very quickly build really innovative financial technology solutions on top of. So think of it like a toolkit or building blocks that really accelerates the builds that would typically take a very long time and a lot of resources for a large company like TD, who is, I think, 25 million plus customers at this point. So really what we look for in potential partners, and why TD was a great partner for us, was number one, you have to be organizationally ready to use a platform like ours. And not every enterprise, especially at every bank around the globe, is. And what that means is you have to have that innovation focus. And that comes from the top down. And many companies have a more bottoms up approach to that, but that needs to be top down. And we really engaged early on with executives from TD, and we saw that their focus was innovation and driving these new tools and new solutions to their customers. And that's really important to us, number one. And number two, you have to have buy-in from business units. And TD is a great example where it was mentioned they looked at, let's say, 20 vendors, and there's a lot of due diligence and a lot of steps you have to take as a large company to get ready to implement one of these solutions. And that's something we look for as well. Do you have buy-in internally, and have you put forward the right resources and planning to be able to implement? And most importantly, number three, do you understand your customers and what they need? A lot of enterprises and banks in particular come to us and want the reverse, want us to tell them what their customers should be using. We look at things more driven by the customer themselves, whether that's a consumer or a business, is what are they telling you they need? How do you need to be staying competitive in the market? What are the new solutions they're asking for? And that's how you can drive innovation. So that's really the three things that we've looked for, and TD was a perfect partner for us in those three aspects.
So it definitely sounds from hearing both of you that there was a skills match, capabilities match, a cultural match. Jacob, after looking at 20 different vendors, why choose Hydrogen?
Sure. So at the end of the day, we obviously partner with Hydrogen for the reasons and the criteria I stated before in terms of what we were looking for. And Hydrogen absolutely demonstrated very early on in our engagement a real in-depth understanding of our business and customer needs. And even though they were a startup, they showed agility in being able to move quickly. But the other great thing was that they showed that they can work effectively with a large financial institution like TD. Another criteria that we had is, from our perspective, it was important to have the fintech's technology brought into TD's technology environment, where it can be accessed through APIs and then further integrated and scaled across the organization. And I would say of all the firms that we looked at, Hydrogen was quite unique in this regard. And another reason was that we were able to partner together with Hydrogen in building out their roadmap. And at the end of the day, Hydrogen brought creativity, they brought innovation, transparency, and the agility TD was looking for. And I would say most importantly, I would say Mike and his team, they shared our passion to help bring this vision into the marketplace.
I'm sure it didn't hurt that Mike is a pioneering rock star in the fintech industry. So,
absolutely.
Mike, how about you? What were your expectations? I mean, you're selling into large institutions like TD. TD is one of the biggest. What were your initial expectations? And looking back, would you have done anything differently?
It's a great question. So, as you know, Zach, it's sometimes difficult for fintechs to partner with large enterprises and large banks in particular, just because it's so different running a, let's say, 100 or person or less company versus a 50,000 or 100,000 person organization and the layers of bureaucracy. So I think our expectations and why TD was a great partner was, if you could compartmentalize that within a large company and be very organized from the beginning, I think that's the most important thing with all of these engagements is, let's get all of the roles in place. For instance, we had corporate governance on the partnership from the beginning. That's not something that we see on some of the other partnerships and the other licensing that we do, and that you have roles and responsibilities. And Jacob mentioned you have a clear roadmap as well. What's really unique about our platform is we can basically help a company like TD on their innovation journey over multiple years. So it's not just building one component or one product or solving one particular problem for customers. It's solving that over multiple years and multiple innovation cycles. And that could be many different products and many components and many markets. So having that one-on-one communication and being open-minded with a partner to be able to work with them on your roadmap, I think that's very important as well. Not many fintechs are comfortable doing that. And I think that's also why we've been successful with TD is we're very open. We share road mapping and things that we're working on a year from now or 18 months from now with all of our clients. And we have workshops with them and we're very engaged with them because again, we view this as a long-term innovation exercise. And that's something we're able to do with TD early on. So, our expectations are with any large company, it's not really about what we're expecting, it's about what we have seen worked in the past. And TD is a good example of something that's worked very well. So, we want to be able to replicate that with other partners going forward.
So Jacob, both you and Mike have both talked about organizational readiness in terms of getting a partnership with a fintech off the ground and getting it successful. I'm interested to hear how you and your team prepared internally to improve the chances that the partnership would be successful. Were there certain tricks of the trade that you implemented?
That's a great question. So first of all, to fully appreciate the success of this venture, you have to understand that the TD team is based in Toronto and the Hydrogen team is based in New York City. So that in itself poses its own unique challenges on how two firms can work on a complex product being in two locations. So from TD's perspective, we were already in a good position. We've already adopted modern development practices. We had an agile mindset and embraced DevOps practices. But we appreciate that we need to be flexible in the approach and to ensure that the methodology and approach work for both firms, not just for TD. But honestly, I would say this was more about tweaks rather than massive changes, as both TD and Hydrogen share the same views around how we jointly build a product. We had both business and technology groups from both TD and Hydrogen come together. We were both willing to share ideas and change direction based on each other's inputs. And we had multiple technology boot camps and working sessions with both teams. And that really helped develop a joint strategy and plan. Also, for TD to fully leverage Hydrogen's unique technology, TD worked with Hydrogen to build TD Wealth's own backend API platform, which can communicate to existing TD platforms and infrastructure. And this was a huge benefit because this allowed us to quickly navigate and build capabilities and make it available in the market faster. Another thing I would say is proactive and constant communication was, I think, the glue that really held us together. Keep in mind that along with the Hydrogen team, there are multiple teams within TD, each building parts of this product. And the coordination across these teams plus Hydrogen was really no small undertaking. Ensuring all teams have access to the same information and working towards the same goals was key. And team building was also another key component of this as well. We hosted Hydrogen in Toronto on multiple occasions to bring the teams together. And Hydrogen hosted us in New York as well when building the product. From TD's perspective, I say this project would not have succeeded without strong executive leadership. I've been doing this for a while, Zack, and I would say I've never seen such strong engagement in a project from senior executives. They didn't just provide the vision and walk away. They were there to remove roadblocks and provide directions and solutions when needed. So I'd be remiss if I didn't specifically call out and thank Leo Salome, Group Head of Wealth and Insurance, Paul Clark, EVP and Head of Direct Investing, and Bruce Mitchell, SVP and CIO for Wealth and Insurance. And all this translated to one thing. We delivered jointly a very successful and innovative product that was launched on time and on budget.
It's such an inspiring story. I'm like literally standing in front of my chair. I know it's early, and I know you both talk about the long-term vision of the collaboration, but Jacob, do you have any early color or data on the partnership and how it's doing in the market?
I would say that the partnership is going strong off of a successful launch where we've seen a huge demand for this product from our customers. We continue to work with Hydrogen on the next phase of the roadmap. We're not resting on our success, but we're working jointly with Mike and the team to continue to innovate. And I really do believe the process and culture that I spoke about before that we put in place at the beginning of the project, that will carry through the next phase of the initiative, and we'll continue to see the same success.
And Mike, how about your side? What are your initial feelings on the nature of the partnership, the live partnership?
So I'll also reiterate some of what Jacob mentioned in terms of we've been really impressed with the executive leadership and just the amount of engagement. As Jacob mentioned, a lot of times in big companies, you deal with innovation teams and labs, and it doesn't necessarily filter down to the rest of the organization. And that's not the case with TD. They've been constantly engaged and very, very organized. I think that's the most important takeaway we've seen from this, and why it's going to be a very good long-term partnership for both parties. And in terms of how it's going, I would say it's very smooth. And to be honest, we've dealt with other enterprise in the past and will in the future. This is about as smooth as you could get dealing with a large company, and that has nothing to do about how these large companies are organized. It's just, as we mentioned, there's just a lot of things that have to go right when you're dealing with a smaller entity like ourselves. And in terms of culture and technology fit, we mentioned, different countries in this case. Hydrogen, what's unique about what we've built is we could be leveraged in any country, over 100 countries around the globe for multiple kinds of solutions, different markets. This was a really good partnership for us because, Toronto's so close, even though it's a different country. It's a 45-minute flight. It's easy to get back and forth. Same language. It's not like the UK where they say, it's two countries separated by the same language. It's not really the case here in Canada. So it's been a really good relationship. And in terms of how it's working out, we can't be more excited about working with TD. Everything's been really smooth. As was mentioned, they've launched their initial product on budget and on time, which we're really excited about. And I know we've already started working on some new initiatives that people internally at Hydrogen and also TD are excited about as well. So I really can't wait to see how those turn out over the next few years.
That's awesome. So I guess we can end on the note. Jacob, back to you. We have this initial launch. What are your plans for the future of the partnership? What are some of those initiatives?
Sure. So as I mentioned, we're not slowing down. We continue to engage our customers to get their feedback based on their initial experience with the product and new functionality that they'd like to see. And this is going to get translated into a joint roadmap between Hydrogen and TD. And from this roadmap, you're going to see new innovative products that we're going to continue to launch. And this is going to help our customers meet their investment needs. But we're very excited to continue this journey with Hydrogen.
Jacob, Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jacob.
It's great to be here. Thanks, Mike.